Hall of Fame broadcaster Marty Brenneman here, and he's the best storyteller in the game, and it's time to sit back, relax, and have some laughs. Welcome to the Mayor's Office, and here's your host, Sean Casey.
Double boom, Chinch. What's going on, man?
Double boom from Case. Yeah, it looks like you're still in the Lullis Secaucus, New Jersey, home of the fresh mutts. Right?
Oh yeah, Giovanni's. You kidding me, dude? Fresh. Charlie makes the best fresh mutts going. And his son Ryan. Let's go, dude. I go over there. Although I come out of there with the prosciutto, the mozz, the prosciutto, like. I go into a meat mozzarella coma. Bro.
Yeah, it's like it's sodium.
I'm about to go on air. I'm like, I'm in a meat mozzarella coma.
Oh, but it's so good though. It's as good as it gets around there. Anyway, by the way, you had some.
He's out there churning it.
Yeah, you had some trouble getting to where you are though, right? Was that going here? What happened the other day?
Are you kidding me, dude? The other day, Monday morning, I'm coming to work, and Sarah, I like to be at the airport 2 hours early. She likes to be at 1 hour early. So this time we're cutting it like about hour 20. I'm like, all right, So I'm ripping down the highway, about 75, maybe 80. I'm not sure. Anyway, dude, I get in the my car says, yeah, there it is right there, bro. Legit blowout.
Huge blowout.
Back right tire needs air, and I'm the next thing you know, I'm like. Hey, I turned to Sarah. I'm like, hey, the right tire needs, and before I could get needs air out, boom, dude, smoke in the back, tires blowing off. I pull over the shoulder. Dude, we're like a foot off the shoulder. So we're on the highway now. Trucks are rolling by and 18-wheelers, and the car's shaking. I was like, we got to get out of the car and we got to get as far away from this car as possible. Yeah. So anyway, we call the cops. Cops don't come. I'm like, we called him back. We're like, hey, 911. We're just wondering because we were not in a a good.
I saw you're on a corner of the
such a dangerous spot. So we called Audi, Audi roadside service. They're like, we'll be there in 2 hours. I'm like, this is great, great Audi roadside service. So I'm like, so we're sitting there, but then I gotta I missed my flight. So then I'm calling back the network trying to get a new flight. So it was good though. But what was great though, bro? I had my Jocko Willink shirt on, who's the Navy SEAL who I love. And he always says, when things don't go right for you, he says, good. Hey, you didn't get the new equipment? Good. We can match for the old equipment. Hey, you blew out your tire going to the airport? Good. You can figure it out and you can pivot. And so I called my son, Andrew. I'm like, Bubs, you got to pick me up. You got to go get Sarah's car, meet me at the Audi dealership. A guy from PennDOT helped me change the tire. I took the tire, drove back, literally pulled up to the Audi dealership. My buddy John Rackley was there. I'm like, hey, John, here's the car. Andrew's there. I get in Sarah's car. I say, see you later, Andrew. Thanks. Back to the airport, and we made the flight. We made the next flight at 12:20. So it was,
that's sick. Now,
it all worked out, bro, like it always does, Chinch.
Yes. First of all, I love the positivity. I could tell. I could tell when you were doing it that day. Big smile on your face. You got to laugh at that, right? But the second thing is like when somebody pulls up and they see this tire or whatever, and they look up, do they go, are you Sean Casey, or do you not get recognized in that situation? What happened?
No, dude. I got the perfect amount of fame, bro. I barely get recognized. I get recognized every once in a while. I was just in Iowa. Like when I'm at a Reds game or I'm in Cincinnati, I'll get recognized there. Yeah. More like when I'm at a Reds game or something like that. But like in Pittsburgh, I'm on that WDVE in the mornings on they'll be like, hey, bro, we love you on DVE. I don't even think people know that I play baseball. They just know that they have good stories.
That's funny.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. I tipped the guy $20. So I'm like, hey, he's like, no. I'm like, take it, man. I just threw it in his car. I crumpled it up, threw it in. I freaking LeBron James them. I'm out of there.
That's great. All right, well, you got there, and you've been there for a few days, and there's a lot going on in the sport of Major League Baseball, bro. Let's start. Why don't we kick things off with a high note this week? Finally, for the New York Yankees, down 3, bottom 9 was it, or bottom 10?
Bottom 9.
Donaldson, Oppo, Salami,
bro. Huge, man. Huge. But they've been scuffling. They've had 3 runs or less in a lot, in the last whatever it was. I can't remember. Last 12, 13 games, 3 runs or less. So they were really scuffling and just score runs. Yeah. And Rizzo tied it in the 8th, and then Mejia had that 3-run double off Chapman on an 0-2 count to make it 7-4. And then they got the bases loaded. Then Donaldson went Oppo Taco to win it, man. Yeah. I mean, listen. Because everyone's talking about, the Yankees are struggling. Listen, you're not going to go wire to wire dominating. It's just too many games. You're going to have, Clay Holmes, is hurt now, and he's been scuffling for a while. He was dominant for like 3 months, 4 months.
Severino.
Chapman's kind of been up and down. Severino's been out. They just traded Montgomery, which I still don't understand. Why would you trade one of your premium starters for? I mean, Harrison Bader's a good player, but he's on the DL. You're not going to get him until I think September or something. So I still don't understand that. Jordan Montgomery's gone to St. Louis and dominated.
Yeah. You could tell he was going to do that, though.
Trades.
You get a lefty who's crafty and good, and you move him from the AL to the NL. You almost automatically see some dividends, don't you? There's something about that. I guess navigating the bottom of the lineup.
And you're moving the NL Central from the AL East.
Oh, yeah, that is a big difference.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, with that porch in right field of Yankee Stadium. Great point. But the other point about the Yankees, and like you said, you're never – everything's a sample size, right? Because in the beginning of the year, I always just say, working in baseball, it's all right, let's talk about this. Back in the day, it would be the Royals before they got good. But it's the Royals are 16-5, and you're like, well, let's talk about them now because they're not going to go 16-5 in every 21 games for the rest of the season. On the flip side, for the Yankees, it's it was almost too perfect what was going on, and now, fine, you're good. I mean, they do not look great in general. However, you'd rather it now, late August, than you would in late September, right? I don't know.
Yeah, well, they're built for the long haul, man. Cashman put together a team for the long haul. They're about to get Stanton back. LeMahieu, I think, is the key to that lineup. He has that toe injury or whatever. He's the guy. I really believe he's such a bat to ball guy. He's a tough out. He's kind of that grinder player in that lineup. So they need to get those guys back too. So I really think they're going to be okay. And the other teams that are chasing them, they're kind of sputtering too. Toronto's sputtering.
Yep.
The Red Sox are sputtering. Baltimore's coming. Yeah. The Rays are still. Is it still 10 back? Right. The Rays are still 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Back,
as of this recording, 10 back. Yeah. You got nobody's within 10 games you've been in your division, but still.
This is why I love baseball, dude. Is because, it's 162 games. No other sports like this. So every night, dude, every single night you're playing. So like I said, you're gonna have stretches where you're going in 25, 30 games. You're man, we're not playing good baseball. Yeah, you have 162 of these bad boys.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And let's stay in that division real quick though. You mentioned the Orioles. Got to give a clap to them, right?
Bro, Brandon Hyde, good job. Yeah, dude, and look at the numbers since Adley. There you go. Look at the numbers since Adley Rushman got called up. Their catcher, who was the first round pick a few years ago, ahead of Bobby Witt Jr. And everyone's like, man, can't believe they took Rushman over Bobby Witt Jr. Well, this kid's a stud, man. Switch hitting catcher, flat out hit. Just 186 pop time behind the dish. Calls a good game. ERA with those starters is great. They're just grinders on that team, man. And even when they got rid of Trey Mancini to the Astros, they're still getting after it and getting it done. So you got to tip your cap to the Orioles. They just took 2 out of 3 from Toronto in Toronto. These guys are good, and they believe they're good, and they're going to be a factor here, man. It's fun.
Plus,
that's another reason I love baseball. There's tons of teams in it.
Totally, yeah. And as far as Adley's concerned, it's you're not going to compare him to Buster Posey yet, but when you can get a catcher who can be that kind of calming leader, because a catcher is usually a leader, and in a lot of ways you got a leader who's a catcher. But when he can go up there with a bat consistently and put up some numbers, that's a whole other ball game. It's we were doing that fantasy football thing the other day. It's there's only 2 good tight ends. You're not going to have in baseball. You're not going to have too many catchers. You can name him on one hand, right? A catcher who can play 135, 140 games and still hit almost 300 or put up the offensive numbers. That changes you.
Then that's why, you go back and look at a guy like Piazza. You're man, this guy's a catcher, and he's one of the best hitters in the game. It's such a difference maker, you know what I mean? So, I think Rutschman is that guy, and he's come up with big hits, and it's just fun, man. Anytime you get the new players involved in the young blood up there, man, it invigorates the veteran guys. Anytime you get good young players that come up, it sparks some mojo. Look at the Braves, dude. Look at the Braves and Michael Harris. Michael Harris comes up. Good. These guys are 57-20 or something stupid since he got caught up, and then he just got a long-term extension. I love what Alex Anthopoulos is doing there. He's locking up these guys it's the 90s Indians with Michael Harris, Acuna, Albies. He just what's the third baseman?
Hold on.
Come on, why am I drawing a blank?
I'm jumping a blank.
Austin Riley.
Oh, Riley, yeah.
Austin Riley. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they locked up, and they also locked up. Who's the first baseman?
Wait.
Matt Olson. Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they got
Olson,
5 guys
Riley,
locked up, dude, for like 8+ years.
Yeah. Oh, and how about you talk about Dansby Swanson, right? You know, he gets drafted. Everybody's like, oh, this is your draft pick. How about being a leader who can play defense as good as any shortstop in the major leagues and can hit now?
No, dude, he's an absolute stud. He's hitting 294 with some damage numbers. He's an absolute stud. The one thing that's weird there is like they're not maybe giving Dansby the love that he deserves because they got that Vaughn Grissom who's playing second base now. This kid's a stud.
Yeah.
So, dude, the Braves do a good job, man. Chris Young had a great piece the other day about, you know, how well the Braves bring up young kids. I mean, you can go back to like Ronnie Gant, Dave Justice, Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, Jeff Rancourt, Brian McCann, you know, all-star type players, like difference makers. They bring these young kids up and they make a difference. And then you're seeing Michael Harris and you're seeing Austin Riley, Vaughn Grissom, like, you know, Acuna, Albies. They got some, you know, Austin Riley. You got some studs that the Braves just keep churning out, man. It's incredible.
Right. You know what else I love about that is it's like you bring up a guy like Harris and those guys. Some of these guys that are coming up now, the younger guys, run and steal bases. It seems like it's starting to turn back a little, but you bring Harris up, you automatically change your lineup. There's without even a question, even if he's better than you would have expected him to be this far in the season, but you bring up a whole other dynamic. The Mets, we said we did that. We bring up, what's his name? B squared.
Right. Oh, yeah, Brett Beatty.
Yeah, you bring these guys up. At some point in the year, it's got to rejuvenate you a little bit, right? Like,
well, I think a big reason they were talking about the Mets. Oh, they didn't do a ton at the deadline. Well, do they? Because they do have some good players. They got some guys coming. But this Brett Beatty's a stud, dude. Kid can hit. Was hitting 315 in AA, AAA, 19 bombs, over 60 ribbies. Comes up first at bat against Odorizzi. Got him.
Awesome.
You know, like, dude, not many people in the history. I think he's the 5th Mets player. But there's, you know, not many people in the history of the game who come up first at bat. His whole family's in the stands. Like, this kid can rake, dude. So he 12th overall pick, I think, a few years ago out of high school, out of Austin, Texas. Like, some good young players coming, man. That's another reason I love this game. I love seeing the next generation of guys come up and then, you know, have an impact right away. So, and dude, he was 1 for 4, but he hit 2 other bullets, one up the middle, one to short. Got, you know, so this kid's going to be a stud, dude.
Yeah, and that's a fun one, man. Mets and Braves. When the Mets and Braves are good at the same time, that is about as good a rivalry as there is. You don't talk about it. 4.5 games separating them as we talk. But you talk about being built for the postseason. You have DeGrom and Scherzer, and if Diaz can continue on this thing, think about a 5-game series, 7-game series. You got 2 games off the top where you're probably going to go 7 or 8 innings, and when you don't go 8 innings, you're bringing Diaz in for 2 innings in the postseason in a playoff matchup.
Incredible.
They just have to get there and be in a good spot where they're not facing a team that's kind of like, you know, has their number or anything. But they are. You could see a Subway Series. You could see Dodgers Yankees this year. What else could you see? You could see Astros Dodgers again. You could see Astros Mets.
Dude.
Braves.
Yeah, and what about the Cardinals, dude?
Right.
2 big pickups at the deadline. They got Jordan Montgomery from the Yankees. They got Quintana from the Pirates. These guys have been lights out. So then you throw Adam Wayne out there. They're talking about Flaherty coming back. Like, wow, they're getting healthy at the right time. I'd love to see the Phillies hold on because I just love Bryce Harper, dude, and he's going to be coming back here soon. I'd love to see them hold on. Robbie Thompson's done a great job since he's taken over as manager. You know, that's a lot of fun. It's funny to see what Milwaukee's going to do, man. They're kind of like the offense is just not that good. They're kind of leaning on their pitching heavy. You know, getting rid of Hader has definitely, you know, not been the greatest of things for them so far. The Dodgers are just. Well, how about the Padres since they got Soto? I think they're like 6-7 or 7-7. They've just been okay.
We haven't really even talked about Tatis on our show. Yeah. But come on.
But
crazy.
And then the Dodgers are 81-35. Dude. They just keep winning. Gonsolin's dominating. But I think the one thing about the Dodgers, Walker Buehler's out for the postseason, out for the rest of the season with an elbow injury. That's a big hit to those guys. The Blue Jays are the team I really like, dude. I'd like to see them make a run. They're kind of like sputtering a little bit lately. 3-7 in the last 10.
Yeah.
But the Indians are coming, dude. They got some good players, man.
Not Guardians.
Dude,
Guardians, not Indians. Remember?
Oh, sorry, the Guardians. Oh my God! See, the Guardians. The
It takes
Guardians.
a while.
Well, man,
It takes a while.
The Guardians have. They are good, man. They are really good, and they're in first place now in the Central, taking over. But the White Sox are coming. Minnesota's decent, but the Astros and the team, I think they get like no love sometimes. Like you just look up. Oh wait, the Astros are, 76
every
year. They're right behind the Dodgers for the best record in baseball. Dusty Baker obviously doing another great job, and the Mariners, they just keep coming too. So
yeah,
it's a fun time, bro. This is a great time for baseball. Last month and a half, let's go. Buckle up, 40 plus games to go.
Yeah, great wild card. You got a lot of teams within 5.5 games in both leagues.
Yeah.
San Fran's 5.5 back, but how it breaks down all differently in those divisions. But I mean, the American League, look at Toronto, Minnesota, Baltimore, Chicago, Boston, and any of those teams can jump each other in some of those divisions. It's pretty.
Yep.
We're in a good spot right now for a stretch run for
bro,
the big leagues.
what do you think? I'll get your take on what do you think of Tatis, the Tatis stuff?
I look at it a couple ways. I don't agree. Like, I don't care if you made a mistake. You make so much money and you have so many people around you and you have so many trainers and you eat so much different types of food and you have a personal chef and I won't allow that mistake to a professional athlete as much as I would allow it to like somebody else who needs to take a drug test. I have a problem when it's like, oh, it's because I took a medicine that I shouldn't take. Well, we've seen that before. First of all, I mean, lies.
First off, that's not true.
It's not, right?
I mean, you don't just get that in your system.
Not that one. I got a cousin who's a physician who I just sent him, and I go, what does this do to you? And he was like, he sent me a list of things where, first of all.
What does it do?
What does it do?
It makes you jacked.
It makes you jacked. No, it's almost like one of those old school steroids like those guys would take that would be like almost dangerous for you, hurt your heart. Shrink some stuff down there in different ways that most things, like he basically was like, he's like, that's kind of like old school. He's like that has as much of a post-use, the same way, when you see commercials where it's like, take Cialis or whatever to do that stuff.
Here's
and
the side effects.
Yeah, here's the side effects. Heart attack, suicidal thoughts, kill yourself. Like, yeah, you don't wind up stiff as a board in 2 different ways if you take that stuff. But so that's why, like, and the other thing is, I hate this part of it too. We say it about Bonds, we say it about A-Rod, and I would put Tatis into this category of he didn't need to do. He's physically.
Did he?
I don't know. What do you think? We'll see. You played. I guess you're right.
I guess my question is, would you just start doing it last week?
That's a great point. You know
what I mean? Are you what you are because you've been doing it since you were 16?
Right.
I don't know.
No, exactly.
You just haven't gotten caught. You know what I mean? Like, because
I agree.
I think that I think it's the drug use is probably maybe ahead of the testing if you're not careful. If a player isn't careful with being ahead of the testing, that's how you get nabbed.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the one other point on that.
I'd like to think he hasn't done it forever, but maybe he's trying to.
No, but I know you're right.
Coming back from the injury.
It's very hard to be like 6'4", 230 and run a 4.5 40 and do this and do all that. There's a reason that not many people are built that way in the history of the world. Like
gets hurt all the time.
Gets hurt all the time.
That for me, that's one thing. When you're
always
your
hammies,
muscles get
quads.
too big for your tendons, hammies, quads, those kind of calves.
Yeah, hips. A lot of hips. Always. The last thing I'll say in this, and I don't often try to talk about this because it's like, who gives a shit? But like, I played baseball in college from 1996 to 2000, in the heart of the beginning of that era, and there's a little piece of me, and you throw this away, but there's a piece of me where I'm like, I got cheated out of my chance to see how much was I good enough to at least play in a minor leagues to a certain degree, or even get a cup of coffee in a big leagues at some point, or then even maybe kind of have a career. I remember they changed the bat sizes from 3 ounce difference, 34, 31. They changed the bats one year because people were getting hit with liners, and they made them like 34, 28, and they made a 5 ounce difference. And that was my junior year. I came back, And I was like, everybody's hitting home runs on my team, in my league and everything. I'm like, wow, I'm not as good with these bats as everybody else is. But then I realized, and somebody told me later on, they're like, we were all on juice, man. And I was like, what? I'm like, it wasn't the bats, it was the juice. And so
it's crazy.
There's definitely a part of me, like, I would never cheat. I didn't cheat. And I don't like cheating in general in any aspect of any life. So I'm not a fan of what happened. I'm not a fan of him doing it or getting caught. That's my bottom line on it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I just think nowadays too, like with the testing the way it is, I mean the testing in Major League Baseball is pretty right on.
Right.
It's tough to beat. So like, just
and
don't try to beat it.
And like you said, that's not like a topical steroid that you put on like an arm infection or something. It was a high performance enhancing thing.
It's not in Robitussin.
Exactly. Because if it was, we'd all be running around like crazy cold.
Exactly. I'd be chugging Robitussin. Epic rate.
So one last thing we got here. We got to do a little flashback because I posted online the other day and we did get some responses. Remember when we had Austin Kearns on the show?
Yeah.
And in our
we have him on right now. We have him on.
Oh, that's right. He's on right now. If you haven't heard it, go listen to the damn show, everybody.
Tune into Kearns. The good stuff he had to say. Legendary Cincinnati Red. Let's go.
So good. Oh, we got a lot of feedback on that. One person, a lot of people wrote about how you guys, they were talking about some massive, horrible, crazy fight everybody was in. And Kearns
that Dunner was in the minor leagues.
Yeah, and Dunner's line, everybody really liked hearing Kearns say that. He goes, the only reason that fight ended was because we all got tired. Otherwise, we'd still be fighting. but anyway, in that show,
because the umpires were like, "No, who was going to stop it, dude?" The umpires are running to their cars. They're like, I don't get paid enough to get in the middle. Look at Adam Dunn, 6'6", 300 pounds, with freaking.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Get in the middle of him and somebody else? And Kearns is 6'4", 230, right?
It's huge.
And you, Dunner, you weren't in that.
Dunner was in the UFC back then, dude. We're like, every time we'd be stretching for the game, and Dunner would be putting me in these freaking like. These like submission holds. I'm like, bro, I gotta get ready for a game. Like I'm hitting third. Like you're gonna hurt me. He's like, you're good, bro. You're good. I'm like, I'm not good, dude. I'm not good. You're choking me out, and I'm in a full Nelson. And I'm in. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Full Nelson. That's good. I haven't heard full Nelson in a while. But so anyway, I did pose the question, and you guys answered it. In the 9 and 90 of American Ninja Warrior. The three of you, Dunner, and Kearns, all compete. Look at that. Oh, looking good, dude. Who finishes first, who finishes second, and who finishes third? And we got a lot of responses.
Oh, what'd they say?
I'll tell you, some fans.
I saw Gravy respond.
Graves is the best. So here's Graves' response. Danny Graves. Casey finishes first because he's stupid strong and wants to win at everything. Second, Adam, only because he'll be laughing at Casey the whole time. And third, AK, because he'll want to watch and laugh at Casey and Adam. Sounds like he knows pretty well.
Gravy, thanks for the response.
Yeah, our boy Marco Ruggiero, is that how he says his last name? Yeah. Your buddy from Boston?
Yeah. Ruggiero,
sorry. Casey is first. He's leaned out and no speed, but good upper body. Kearns goes next, beast mode, but gets freaked out by the water hazards. Dunn pulls in third, tries to plow through everything country strong, but no vertical. That's a decent one. And then one other one we got, and I could tell from this man's personality now that I know him a little bit. Tom Hume, your boy.
Mark Ruggiano.
Oh, Ruggiano, sorry. Your boy, Tom Hume, former coach of yours, whatever. His response was just tie.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, it's just tie. All three of you guys.
Come on, Hummer, clean it up, bro. Like, give us a better response than tie.
I don't know. You're in pretty good shape right now, man. I mean, you're ripped.
Dude, I'm in good shape, but I couldn't hang from like the American Ninja Warrior, bro. I jump on. I do those things that you go left, right, like lily pads. Yeah. I'd be like face planting in the water in 2 seconds. I'm like, what happened to Casey? He's like, he lost his balance.
You know what that is? I swear a lot of that. Now, granted, these guys are phenomenal athletes, but a lot of that is like how much lactic acid can you handle? Yeah. Like, it's like doing pull-ups. Like, some guys can do a certain amount of pull-ups. Some guys can do 1 billion pull-ups, and some guys can do none.
Exactly
It's all body.
And dude, look how little those guys are. They're small and lean. Like they got that wiry. Mm-hmm. By the way, I was just in the weight room lifting with your boy Matty Chinch.
My cousin.
Guy's an animal, dude. Your cousin was doing 100-pound dumbbells. I was like, if I put 100-pound dumbbells on my shoulders would fall. cracked to the ground. He was ripping. He says you're having like a Chinch barbecue this weekend or something. Like you guys are all getting together.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot about that shit.
There you go. You can't forget.
No,
dude.
I think
it's tomorrow.
He got a Saturday, I think. Or yeah, tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah, he's got him and his wife. They're the cutest. They're the greatest. But like, they're out at a restaurant recently, and this kid was just playing a guitar and singing while everybody was eating, and they liked him. So they hired him for this party this week. So he's just gonna be sitting in a corner, like strumming a 6-string while we're all, having some pops. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. But he's a monster. You look at me, so I'm a little guy, 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing. I mean, I'm a pretty big guy. I guess.
You're Jack too, yeah.
Dude, he's about 6. I'd say he's pushing 240 at this point, right? He's about your height.
He's bigger than he's bigger than me. No, he's not my height. He's like 6'1".
Okay, his brother is like 6'2", 6'2 and a half, 6'3". Same size, like big, like it's like the Jim Tomei family. And so that's why we went fishing a few weeks ago. You know, you're on a boat and there's some other people on the left, some other people on the right, and they stand next to each other. And I was like, nope. I just get in between them, and I have like my cooler out. I'm all stretched out because I only need this much space. And those two guys just pushed the entire side of the boat to the side. It was almost like we had to put them on opposite sides. But anyway, that's cool. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun weekend for us. What about you? What are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing? Well, my sons are going back to school. My son Jake's going back to college on Sunday. Yeah, man, it's so fast, dude. And I think Andrew's going back on Saturday. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed about that, but I'm gonna try and maybe get a round of golf with them tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be good.
Some balls around. See what I can do, and just want to get a chance to hang with him a little bit.
Just hang with him before, and then you're going to probably follow him around during the season, right?
And then I'm a total loser. I'm like, hey, your dad's here again. He comes to every game.
That's good. Do you bring like sandwiches?
My daughters are starting volleyball, so that's gonna be good. My daughter Carly starts volleyball, and
nice.
Jillian starts like middle school volleyball, which I'm excited about, bro. Girls volleyball, you ever watch? I mean, dude,
it's outstanding.
Awesome. That's so fun to watch.
Two sports that are really fun to watch that people don't talk about enough. Girls volleyball and mixed doubles tennis. I love watching it. It's the same kind of pace, you know what I'm saying? Where you're just like, whoa.
It's quick, dude. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to little girls volleyball coming up, bro. It's going to be fun.
Nice. All right, we'll do that. And then, so we got Kearns out right now. We also have, what do we do on Wednesday? Tell everybody. Big Boo.
Oh, yeah, we got the Big Lambuski, baby.
Yeah.
The Big Lambuski. We got a new fantasy football expert, fantasy football show with my buddy Justin Lambert. We call him Lambu, the Big Lambuski.
Yeah.
Listen, if you like fantasy football and you want to know who to pick up during the week, who you want to draft for these next couple of weeks, tune in to the mayor's office and the Big Lambuski. If you want expert advice,
absolutely.
Chance, you're going to bring it next week. You're going to set up the show.
Oh, we're going to set up. We did like a little pilot this first week just to get to know Boo a little bit. But next week, he had like 300 more notes. I'm like, we'll do it. I'll put my producer hat back on, my old school producer hat.
It's going to be incredible.
It'll be good. Trust me. We'll have graphics, everything.
Tune into the Big Lambuski. Let's go.
Absolutely.
The dude.
And then one last thing next week that I'm super fired up about. Jamie Lissow, comedian extraordinaire. He is one of the biggest up-and-coming comedians. If you don't already know him, I don't even want to call him up-and-coming because he's legit already. He does good stuff. He's out all over the place. From Alaska. So we're going to talk.
Alaska.
We're going to talk about you taking your Alaska trip. So you got a lot to talk about.
It's going to be great, dude.
It's going to be great. God, so we're rolling on. We're trying real hard for you guys. We're grinding. We're not done. We're just getting started. Like we've been saying that.
Them out. Everyone that's on the ride with us, let's go. Let's go. Keep jumping on. Hey, keep telling your friends too.
Yes.
Pass us on. Subscribe, download if you haven't already. And we really appreciate everybody watching us because we're only onward and upward, Chinch. Onward and upward, brother.
Onward and upward. All right, brother.
Have a great weekend.
Love you all.
Tell Maddie, Chinch, Jess, you guys have a great time, bro. I love you.
All right,
see you next week.
See you.
Yep.